Hi guys, Mike, Twin Circle Farm. I promised a couple of breakout videos while we're working on the pen. We're still waiting on some more supplies to come in so we can finish her up, get you another aerial. We might go ahead and work with it today because we've ordered those temporary panels, those movable panels. But I want to go over our gates and this gate latch that we found that we're going to be trying out. Really like it, theory's great, I want to see how it works. So I'm going to show you how they're supposed to go on, what we're doing, and talk more about gates and gate measurement. Thanks, follow along. So it's an unboxing for us. Yeah, you can see the familiar swipe. We know where we ordered them from. They weren't not available locally. They were available locally. We just decided pricing and availability of the one we wanted. We'd go with the swipe, the swoosh. So this is a Coline. This is their Sure latch. So these are galvanized. They also come painted. So they have a few options. They've got an adapter for different size gates. We're using 1 3/4 gate tubes. They're easy to use. They require about a 2 to just shy of 3 inch, 2 7/8 gap between the gate and the post. So we're going to talk about how we hang our gates and trying to leave enough room. I'd rather us error on the side of more space, which we didn't do with one of the first gates I'm going to show you. So we're going to see if this will even fit, and then we'll talk about what we can do to fix that. So I'll unbox it here. This is Sure latch. There's a couple of companies that make very similar ones. This had a really good rating. Full disclosure, we've installed one in the horse barn on the new 16-foot gate we hung in there to replace the old bull gate. It comes with just about everything you need, except I like to put a self-tapping screw to keep it from twisting, and you're going to need your lag bolts. You've got to have some supplies. You're going to need your lag bolts or whatever you're going to use to attach the main latch. And by the way, it does come with instructions. They're very basic mounting instructions. They're very basic mounting instructions on the back, and then all the other gate products they make in the middle. So, police are trash. So the way this latch works, the adapter that goes on the gate will swing in, and the pin will push that up and lock itself. So this is a slam shut kind of a system. If I want to open it, I pull the ear that I want the gate to swing to, and I should be able to swing either direction. So I want to keep this kind of high on the gate for us. I'd like to see this with some extensions higher up on the post, maybe for a horseback or something. So we'll see. See, the blue heelers are still in the middle of everything. So like I said, there are no mounting screws or bolts, so we're going to use a type of lag bolt. So pick what you're going to use. If you got the money to spend, ledger lock, headlock, they make a really good headlock screw that has a wide head on it. Uses a Torx kind of a safety key that comes with them. They're very expensive though. Otherwise, I think we're going to be using 5/16 lags with some washers. I'll show those to you in a little bit, 3 inch. But we're going to try to see if this will even mount. So follow me up here. So the gate mount has to have room between the gate and the post. You can see we don't have that here. So let me show you how we can fix it on this gate and why we chose some of the distances we did. Real quick, we're going to measure this so I can show you. When you're installing posts, your first post, you need to understand when you say you're going to put in a 12-foot or a 16-foot gate, stuff like this has got to be on both sides. So the opening itself is, let's call it 12-foot 1. But even so, I don't have the 2 inches I need. So this was hung as a 12-foot gate with a 4x4 already accounted for. But we weren't planning on putting latches in, so we only left 1 inch of space between the gate and the post. That's not enough space. Remember, I need 2 to almost 3. So in the future, on some of the other gates I'll show you in a minute, we hang them intentionally wide. You can use treated lumber to fill this, to put a plate on here for your latch. I'd rather be too long and fill that gap, but this is a concrete embedded post. It's too late now. I either have to have a new gate welded, or we have one more trick up our sleeve. Otherwise, it's not going to fit inside the post. You won't have a double swing gate. So on this side of the gate, you can see that our hinges have some space in here. Now we have about an inch left. This 4x4 was already mounted to the barn, and this distance was measured before this gate was set. So in the future, you want to add a couple inches. We had 12.1 by what we showed you. It should have been 12.4, 12.5. That extra space, I can fill that with a 4x4. I can fill that with a 2x4. I can fill that with a 5/4 board, 1 inch, raw. So we're going to try to take these. These are not bolted through the barn. I talked about that in the other video. These are lag screw-in style. They're not the best. Yes, there's a bunch of controversy. The lag bolt style will eventually warp out or pull away. Haven't had that issue. I was raised around these kind of gates, but they can go in more places, because on the other side of this 4x4 is the main barn corner post, which is about an 8x8 post. So I'd have to have my 4x4, there's a 2x4 spacer behind it, which is another option I have of taking out to move the whole gate over. And then there's a piece of metal, some space, and an 8x8. I'd have to have a bolt that is so long and a drill bit that is so long, it's just not economical in most places. So we're gonna go with these. If it's an everyday or a heavy, like a bull gate, thicker tube gate than these, you really need to consider putting a full threaded hinge bolt in. So we'll do a couple of things here. I think looking at this, I need an extra inch, inch and a half. We can take the 2x4 out on this side and get it to us. That'll secure this better to the barn. We're gonna get out the battery operated screw gun, a couple of deep wells, a few tools that we're gonna need, and we'll show you how we take this apart. You have another person hold the weight up off the gate, and you'll see down just a little bit, kind of go up and down a little. So we're just gonna get the weight off of that, loosen that. Now he's holding the gate up. That just drops. Now I'm gonna pick the gate off the bottom pin, walk it around. I hope it's not too windy for you. Taking the gate off the bottom pin and setting it aside. So first thing we're gonna have to do is pull these lags almost all the way out, get a bit, and pull our long, I guess those are ledger locks. So it's a really long type of lag bolt that's easier to put in with a really good strength to it. You can use a box wrench or an open end. What you're looking for is that ring on the back side of the tool, or your circle, be the right size to get on here without too much play. I'll have them show you to back it out. It's a little tough to start. Come on, I can say it on video. So the wood does tighten up on these and eventually loosen back up when it dries out. They make tools for this. You can weld something together that's got a cheater bar on it. It really doesn't take that much force. He's just making it look like it does. So if you're 4 foot something and young.
5 foot.
Oh, 5 foot, young and lightweight, you can still open this. You get the hang of it, basically. You want something long enough to have fulcrum that has a circle that fits right on there. Stay straight on it. There you go. One of these things isn't the same. I'm praying they come out. Wow. That barely went into the big post, you can tell. That was a little bit. Take this right into the back of the truck. Don't drop that bolt. That one positively bit right in. That's pretty good right there. We'll take that for now. We go to the 9/16, we had that half on there. Down a little, or up a little. Down just a hair, right there. Up a little. How's our clearance look? Pretty straight up and down. And we've got our clearance. Okay, hold it, let me see this. Double check the factory specs. 2 1/4, should work fine. Take you around the back of the truck here. Hey, Hank. Yeah, we're working out here, buddy. So what we have is 5/16, I'm sorry, 2 1/2, 5/16 by 2 1/2. We're gonna get 4 of these and 4 washers. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is find a place to mount all of this. So we'll mount this first, knowing that we've got what we need on the post. Give me that bag of parts, please. So in the bag that they send you, hold the gate for me. It should stay pretty good. 2 stove bolts. You'll notice that the holes are cut with a square on both sides, so it doesn't matter which way the stove bolt goes. The upper and lower spacers, and 2 nuts holding the nuts. So we'll put the spacers in. Set her on. Put our stove bolt through. In theory, the side you know animals are on the most should have the smooth side of the stove bolt. Double swing gates, you're probably gonna have them on both, so you can cut off your excess. You can buy caps, cap nuts. But you don't have a lot sticking out, so you shouldn't have any injury.
Hey! I told you before, I told her how to fill.
Point and shoot. You can do that by hand. I just like using machinery. No, there's like a whole box with a selection in them.
Okay.
Standard 3/4 inch self-tapping screw. I don't like getting them with Phillips heads. I like it to have an actual hex head on there so that you can use a drive. Just stick it in the hole. That's it. Any other configuration, if I had to be above or below this tube, that'll keep this from twisting. There's 1 hole on each side, so if you really felt like you needed to secure it, I can put a self-tapper in the other side. Not necessary in this arrangement. So now what I'm gonna do, you can see when this gate closes, there's a flap on the bottom where you can put a padlock, or if you have a really smart horse or cow that knows how to open a gate, you could also put a carabiner in there just as your assurance. We're doing this just as a fast gate. We'll see how the animals treat it. So I'll come in place. Now you'll notice that I'm on a pole. So if I had another inch, I'd put a 5/4 board there. I don't mind if it's a 2x4 there. The holes are gonna help us. But on a round post, we just gotta make sure that we're as centered as we possibly can be. Now this is where a deep well could be an issue, but these Husky deep well, they have like a shelf inside to keep the lag bolt from going all the way down. Not all deep wells have that, so you can see if it was a true deep well, I might not get any purchase on that bolt. This one, it stands it off, but it allows round barreled bolt, screw, thread to go all the way down the deep well. So we'll throw in 2 of these, and we won't tighten everything down until we know we're staying flush. So we're gonna have to have one kind of help us twist it against the other and adjust them as we go. Make sure she's securely mounted, and it's a slam latch. The reason for all this trouble, and it's a good idea to have a catch chain, so I'll loosen this in just a second, and we'll go ahead and keep a backup catch chain. It's in case animals catch this. Just a little bit of security. If you're gonna leave an animal, it's 24/7, they got to play with their space. They will sit there, and a smart animal will figure out, hey, if I lick this, that gate opens for me. So the way a slam latch works, if we're gonna work the cattle, you stay on this side. If I'm gonna work the cattle or the horses, I wanna go in and out, I can pull up on the latch, open the gate, go to where I wanna go. Once the animal's through, come on, you can be my animal. When I shove the gate, I know it's locked, I can go on to do what I was doing. I come out here with something in my arms, I don't have to mess with a bunch of stuff. Yes, we want a chain on there as a backup, but if we're working that day, we'll take the chains loose and we'll be just using the smart latch, the sure latch. Come on. So the cool thing about this is bi-directional. I can now use this gate from either side and I don't have to worry about the gate. That's the basics. We'll show you a few more installs when the measurements were the right size. I'll show you how it works out in our favor. Let me adjust this chain so you can see the final gate. No, the chain did not have to be secured with a bolt that would stop a truck, but lag bolts are not expensive and easy to install. Just a little added security. You could have it wrap all the way around. You could have it with like a carabiner so it came back to itself. That's really all that's necessary here though. So that's the sure latch. Yes, it makes some bouncy noises in the wind. At the end of the day, it's for getting in and out. A little bit high here. Like I said, we like to be 6 inches. This looks like it's closer to 9, maybe 10. So if we have the pigs on either side of this, we plan on running an electric fence inside. If I'm starting pigs to train them on the electric fence, we'll just have to put something there, board or something to fill that gap. Probably get some sort of mesh and screw it to the gate. So that's the sure latch installed on a 1 3/4 inch standard tube gate. This is not a bull gate, this is just a standard gate. No, I want to mount that 16 right this second so it's out of our way. We're going to move it, why touch it twice? Good organization, you don't touch the same thing twice. Otherwise, we're going to pick it up, move it somewhere, pick it up, and then install it. You heard the word twice? Pick up, pick up. So walk down to that end. So we're going to move this 16-foot. Where are you going? Why is that even necessary? There's nothing about you that wouldn't have fit in that opening.
My sweatshirt. I like this.
Oh, your poor sweatshirt, yeah. You know you're on a farm and you wore that outside, right?
Yeah, but Mom too has a hole in the back.
So you're gonna say, you know you're on a farm and you wore it outside, right? Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing we did with that 12-foot gate when we had it off. Go to the other end. Go away. Go to the other end. So this post is set in concrete. This is part of our bud box. So we're gonna hang it, slide this up, lift. Now this one is set lower. You'll notice that the terrain is not behaving. Bring me that long level just so we can verify something here. This is what I was talking about on the other one. The chain on this gate comes already installed to wrap around a post and hook back. We will come up with another solution for it, but we're going to be putting in one of our gate things here. So I just want to double check. She feels a little low down here, but she's sitting just past level. So she'll weep a little bit. We might have to adjust that later, but I think we got good clearance. So this is our bud box. So this is the head chute alley that's going to go to either a squeeze chute or loading a trailer. So the cattle will be in that other alley up there, or they'll come directly in. We'll walk them along. They go into the bud box, theory. They go into the bud box. You bring this closed behind yourself, and this is why we want a sure latch here. I want to be on this left side with my hands free because I got animals. I wanted to latch and leave it here. Miles, hold the gate for me. So we get to test this theory later on video. So hopefully we only have a few head of cattle in here. I'm gonna walk up this fence line, again theory, because I wanna go back to the place they went into. So where they came from. They should go around me, and when they encounter this gate, the only opening will be this nice opening into our squeeze chute. So they should go up that alley and be loaded into the trailer or into the squeeze chute or standing in the alley waiting. So we're gonna install a couple more sure latches. This will probably go a little bit quicker. So you'll notice this time there's a lot of space. Well, that's because that post was set in concrete, this fence run was set. We didn't want to be too tight or we would have had a problem. There's nowhere else to move. So what we're gonna do, we'll measure this opening, and I bet you a 4x4 post will solve all of our problems. We need 2 inches. 3.5 is my 4x4. We're gonna be real close to 2 to 2 7/8. So I need a treated 2x4, 4x4, and I need a few of those 8-inchers and the 8-inch bit on there. Yep, that'll work. Do you have a block or anything that'll hold this up so it's up out of our way? Yes, no, maybe. Mañana, aquí, ahora, donde? Hand me another 4x4. We're gonna lay it at the bottom just to hold this steady for me. Hand me the screw gun, please. I pre-start a couple of these. All right, bring me that gate. Just want to make sure we're high enough.
That's good.
Yeah, remember we're going to put that latch thing there, and that. Yeah, bring me a latch. Open her up. See, easy enough. Even a child could do it, or not.
Oh my God.
I make this look easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
Nope, you just wallered it out by going too far. It's no good now. You screwed it all up. You have to stop as soon as it hits.
I didn't know
Now what?
Now, that one's stripped out, so he has to put one on this side and get it right.
Oh.
that. What if I fill this one too?
Then they won't help at all. It's fast. Stop. Now just slowly advance it with very little trigger. That's it. He got 1 right out of 2. That's a 50-50. That's what his grades look like.
No, Dad, no. Maybe.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we'll pick up the sure latch and make sure we've got enough board here. Yeah, we'll be plenty high. Okay, all right, back that up. So we'll mount this 4x4, treated 4x4. Now, just like when we were doing the sure latch before, this is gonna want to twist, so I'm trying to get dead center. It's got a little twist in it already. All of our wood is from some sort of twisted forest. I think I've seen the Angry Orchard commercials where they have that nasty looking gnarly tree. Somehow their wood on discount because they found a whole forest of that. And I've got a board we're gonna post for. We're gonna paint it orange because it just twisted in both directions. It's bowed. Like I couldn't have done it on purpose. I think it was meant for an elegant staircase somewhere. That or they pay craftsmen big money just to twist their boards like in a steam press or something. I don't want the one that doesn't match the
I
others.
know, Miles.
I'm gonna put one on one side and one on the other just to kind of take some of this twist. I'm just gonna put one in the bottom just to keep the board there. So no, it didn't have to be a full 4 foot, 3.5 foot piece of lumber. It could have just been where the gate latch is gonna go with some excess to make sure you got purchased. So why did we do it that way? It's kind of a gate filler. It's unnecessary. I see a lot of people really worried about that opening. Well, if you look at your gate, your bottom opening's already 3.5, 4 inches anyway. So that should work. So if you wanted to save the lumber, you could cut those off. But now we've got our clearance that we needed. everything looks fine. So same as before, I'll get my marks where I want it to be. Now if you want a wash off mark, use a pencil. If you want a permanent mark, use a marker. So this time I'll mark it on top. Remember, I want to be up a little bit high. That gate's going to weep, but at this gate I want it to not bend over time. So I'm going to put a line on the top where I want her. Plumb it up as best I can on that mark. Pro tip, you can use a hammer. Wow, that one just spun out. You can use a hammer to kind of make yourself, or a hole punch, nail set, to make your hole centered so that these things stay in the middle. Looks like it's just going to require a piece of treated 2x4. So, 1.5 inch, 1, 2 1/4. That should work out great for us. Thank you, baby. Did we have a 4-foot piece of 2x4 already?
That's the one.
What you looking at? What are you looking at? What are you looking at over there? It might move. Watch it. There's a piece of dirt.
Oh, that's a big piece.
Oh. No.
With a saw, we can cut down some.
Nah, we'll make this work. So we set our gates, I think it's 16'5", 16'4", 16'5", off the posts. Because I'd rather do this than not fit between the posts. And these are just 3-inch gold construction screws with a Torx 25 head on them.
I think it's big enough.
A second, I just gotta get to my pencil. What do I need?
No, that and then the...
So when people talk about homeschooling during the last couple years, oh! Did you just run into that? Or bite it? Goofy dog. So here's a good example. These posts were set when we first built our fence. 16-foot gate. The opening is 16 foot. Works fine for just a gate, but you're not going to be able to add this latch, and I don't have enough room to screw the hinges in tight enough to get us in there. So you can see that we're banging. There's nothing I can do. So we're going to make this to where it's a one-way gate, which is fine. It's part of our design, but it's going to have to swing out this way. Kind of overkill to have the whole gate latch system. That's what we're going to use today. So now I've got to design this thing in a way that she will open. So we don't want to be any further over than that. I got to modify the 4x4. Put that piece of 5/4 down. I just want it off the ground a little. So everything we're doing here should make it easier to come out and manage our animals. Hammer.